Weekend. All right, looks like everybody's getting set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and, like I always do, hey, fly me to the moon. If you are having trouble with habits and like getting out of negative loops, then I've been doing daily live streams for that. I'm just getting everybody set up. This is Instagram over here, and then we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, and we have YouTube over here. And then we'll go ahead and get started. We are going over the book Atomic Habits for those of you that are new, because I felt like that was one of the books that if you don't read any other book, to me, this book is going to give you the information that you need in order to be able to move past, like I said, these negative blocks, and stop telling yourself you're going to make these changes in your life when you don't, and actually learn some tangible steps in order for you to move forward. But I like this book because it also teaches you the science behind why you may have, had these stops and starts when you said that you wanted to make a change and you didn't. Hey, Rob Brett. So I just think, hey, Rotunda. So I just feel like it's a good book, baseline book. And I'm just saying that for those of you that are new. Rotunda, how was your weekend? Rob Brett, fly me to the moon. How was your weekend? All right, so this is actually going to be our last discussion on this book, because when we get to the point where we left off on Friday, we were now moving into the book where it has more advanced principles. But I know you all. I know that you tend to be, the people that watch me tend to be dabblers, and that's probably why you are attracted to me, because I was a person that pretty much says what I'm going to do, and I want to inspire you to be a person of integrity that does what you say that you're going to do. However, I know that you guys don't do it. I know that for one reason or other, life gets in the way, and then the things that you said that you were going to do for yourself or accomplish, or the things that you've tried to move forward in some way, for some reason, there's a little bit of inconsistency there. So I didn't want to throw all these advanced principles on you without giving you the opportunity to solidify the very basic techniques that he covers in this book in order for you to create a better life. And inherently, you guys, you have to know, I'm going to keep stressing it. This book is phenomenal, not only because he teaches you how to create good habits, but because if you do what he tells you to do in this book, it is in line with the process that you need to incorporate into your life to start to manifest the things that you want. So Rotunda said she had a good weekend. Good. I already know Rob Brett had a great weekend. So for those of you that are thinking, or you sit back and you try to contemplate why you don't live the life that you want, and you're a type of person that thinks that maybe it's because of the things that have happened to you, or the relationships that you're in, or your perceived lack of opportunities, especially if you are somebody that compares yourself to some of the things that other people have in life, this book helps you to recalibrate and even out the playing field, to understand that it really is not always about what is going on in your external world. You can completely shift the way that you approach your life by understanding and shifting who you are. Because if you understand and shift who you are, there's going to be a lot of you that are going to think that it can't be that simple, but it really is that simple. Because if you shift who you are, as we've talked about throughout this book, and as I talk about, when I'm telling you about all the wins that my private clients are receiving, they don't have anything that you don't have. But what they do and what they have learned is that the way that you have this concept of yourself, the core of who you are, not who you say that you're going to be, not when you adopt a mood one day and you're at your best self, but then when your mood changes, you're not at your best self. But when you truly inherently change the core of who you are as a person, you interpret life in a different way. You don't interpret life as it happening to you. You interpret life as somebody that has a say-so and a choice in what is happening to them. And until you can get to that place, you're going to find that it's going to be very hard for you to accomplish the things that you want. Because in my VIP modules for my private clients, when I'm teaching them this, there are primarily two ways that you can get stuff done in life. You could try to force something. And so in this book, an example of forcing would be you trying to pretend like you're going to change a behavior, or you trying to change this behavior and force it and grit down and do your do your habits without changing how you see yourself, and find that that is going to be a difficult situation. You're going to be trying to force an issue because you haven't dealt with the true problem that's inside of you, which is changing your identity or your self-concept. Or you're going to be someone that wants to change the people that you interact with. You want to change your circumstance. You see a lot of people try to do this. They try to run, they try to change, they try to move, they try to change their partner. And when you do all that, it creates this energy where you're trying to force things to happen in your life. And as you try to force things to happen in your life, if you know anything about science, that is usually met with resistance. So trying to continuously change and create the life that you want from that type of an energy is going to be hard. It's going to be draining. It's going to be you're going to be depleting your energy, and you're going to be wasting a lot of time than if you learn that the other way that you create things in your life is by becoming more powerful. And that is what I like to work with clients to help them do. This is what I'm working with you guys to help you do. Become a powerful person. If you want to have influence in your life, you don't do it by forcing. You don't even do it by asking for it. You do it by becoming a more powerful person, a more influential person. And the more that you can do that, the more that you're going to see the world will change for you. The world will bend to your energy. And that is why, even if you feel like you tried manifesting and you've tried to change your life and you tried to get past these negative loops and you don't think it's possible, it's because you don't understand that you don't have to do a lot of stuff in order for you to have what you want. You have to learn the skills that you need to learn to become a certain person, and life will shift for you. Case in point, we all know people in our life that can just enter a room and they just command respect. They just command power. They just command presence. And why is that? Because if you got down to the core of who it is that they are, that is part of their core concept or their self-concept. And so they're able to energetically move energy before they even say anything or before they even do anything. So again, I hope that not only is this book giving you the science so you understand and give yourself grace for not being able to do it in the past, but I hope what it's also doing is giving you hope that if you not complicate bettering your life or accomplishing a goal, even if it's a big goal, if you don't complicate it, then if you have faith that even if you don't believe in yourself, but you have faith in the process and you have faith in the actions, that instead of you walking away thinking that, okay, I'm not going to be able to create the life that I want, you can understand now that you have a whole set of tools that if you just try it out, you don't have to believe anything. Anytime that I'm doing any of this stuff in my life, I'm trying it out to see if it works. Like a science experiment is how I do everything in my life. Even spirituality is how I journal. I'm not sitting here leaving things to chance and then praying and putting my hands up and doing all these things. I'm actually trying things out to see the results that I get. And if you have tried to force your way through life, force your way through change, force your way to have what it is that you want, force your way to move out of negativity, then I want you to take a step back and just pause and see that there could be a better way. And that better way may be for you to learn how to become a more powerful person. Becoming more powerful means that, again, not only are you working less hard, people are influenced. So they actually will help you accomplish what it is that you want. There's this force, like depending on what we believe in, we call it God or whatever. This is how you link up with that power that makes your goal accomplishment much easier. What else do? You start to have more self-confidence. For those of you that have had trouble believing in yourself and your ability to have what it is that you want, when you start to move through life in this way, things just start to happen. And as these things happen, that's where your faith and your belief starts to grow. And that's where your confidence in yourself and your ability to have what you want grows. So it's almost like a snowball effect. But if you are not willing to dive in and do the things that you need to do and learn how to embody this new person that you need to become and identify yourself as in order to shift your world, I'm telling you, you're going to be wasting your time. I talked to one client that knows me personally. She knows me personally, but I'm also her coach. And she always talks, when we're going through trying to shift her identity because she's a new client. She looks at me like I've done a lot of things in my life and accomplished a lot. And so I've worked hard, but I have not worked hard. Even when I didn't consciously know what I was doing, I was always a person that always believed that I did not have to have less than. That even though something had brought me down, even though something has stripped everything that I had ever put my heart and my soul into, I was never a person that was going to believe that I couldn't have something better in my life. And that doesn't mean that I was born this way or that I have something different than you have, because there's plenty of people in my life that do not believe what I believed. But I made a conscious choice that it's not lucky, Rotunda. It's not lucky. It's a choice. It's a choice. Every day you have a choice. And my choice for myself was I wanted to have a good life for myself. And because I wanted to have a good life for myself, I refuse to let anything get me down for an extended period of time. We've all had ups and downs. You guys all know about my traumas and how I had to climb out of the trauma one step at a time all by myself. That's pretty apparent, but it wasn't luck. It was a choice that if I could become somebody that I admired, and not put them on a pedestal, but look at what they were doing and see, okay, well, if this is what people that are making it in life are doing, then how can I start to become that person? Hey, Luminous Soul Love. That is how I started to make life easy for myself. And that's why this book was so powerful for me, because it put into words the things that I teach my clients. It puts into words the formula and a secret to success. It puts into words why you think that if you want to accomplish something in life, you think you need to do more. You think you need to try harder. You think you're doing something wrong. Believe me, I do that too. But the true reason why 99% of us, hey, Ashley, why 99% of us are not where we want to be, it is not because we aren't doing the right thing. It's because we have a mindset and an identity and a self-concept that stops us from consistently behaving in a way that is from our highest and best good, number one. And number two, there's something in there in your mindset that does not believe that these great things are possible. And one of the things that I'm so glad that Rotunda brought it up is by saying lucky. It's not luck. It's about preparation. There are so many things that I have done consistently and persistently, and that my clients have had to do consistently and persistently, even when they didn't see that outer evidence of what it is that they were working toward. But they made a choice to stay convicted, to stay consistent, and to walk the path and to still stay the person that they needed to be to have those things, even if it took a year, even if it took 5 years, even if it took 10 years, and they got the reward. And I want to give you like a tangible way to look at this so you can understand how this works. If any of you have ever been to university, you know that you are committing yourself to a process, right? And within that process, you have to go to all these classes, plus you have to study, plus you have to pay a crap ton of money, but you know you have faith that if you do the things that you need to do, you're going to get to the end of that process where you get a degree. If you continue to move forward, even if you don't have faith that you will get a job in the end, that you'll do this or do that, you know that this process is moving you forward toward a goal. Now, you can see that that's a tangible process, but it's a long process, right? And there's plenty of people in life that will commit themselves and go through a process like that because they have faith that at the end of that process, the school's not going to shut down and they say, I'm not going to get a degree. I know if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to get the reward. Life is no different. And the only thing that's stopping you from believing that is your limiting beliefs. Because if you do this, this, and this, then you know for sure that you're going to get it. Now, gestation periods are different. Some of them we know. Some of them we know. We know school could be 2 years. It could be 4. It could be 8. It could be 12. We know that. However, there are some we don't know. For instance, maybe we don't know like when we're going to get pregnant, or maybe we don't know when we're going to have our life partner come into our life. But I'll tell you what, just like when you try to go to school and you don't take all your classes, or you take some classes and then you stop and then you take a semester off, if you do that in life, it's going to take you longer to get to where you want to be. And it's the same, guys. There's nothing different. As above, so below. Everything is a clue that tells you how life works. You just have to be willing to be somebody that is committed to something and not giving up on yourself. And this book helps you do it. Robert said, and you must be willing to sacrifice. Yes, you should always be willing to sacrifice. If you, especially for those of you, I know that there are some of you that come to me because you know, even if you haven't been able to do it by yourself or you haven't been successful, you know that there's something that is in your heart that makes you want to like go past the limits that you've been taught, or go past any limit that you've ever seen. Like you just have this big calling on your heart, and you know that you were meant to move for more, and you're supposed to do great things, and you're supposed to make your mark in the world. You know all of this stuff. So you do have to be willing to sacrifice. And if there's any of you that have that type of feeling in your heart, because most of us do, it's all in different areas, because we're all supposed to bring our light into this world. But most of us have that feeling. So you are going to have to sacrifice, and it doesn't have to be sacrifice in a bad way. The sacrificial process can be as enjoyable or as painful as you make it, depending on the type of person that you identify yourself with as a core concept. And that's what I like, the point that I'm trying to make. Like, all of the things that I've done, even when I go to school, it's not hard. It's not, because I just choose to believe in my mind it's not hard. And I choose to believe in my mind that sometimes in life there's a process that I have to go through in order to better myself so that I can spread my light. But it's never hard. But you do have to trade. You do have to trade. It's like kind of like the golden rule in the laws of the universe. For those of you that are in the personal mastery membership, you have access to a lot of information like that. If you understand how life works, then yes, you are always going to be given. If you want to get, you have to give. So I wouldn't even call it like a sacrifice, because you're not giving up, you're trading. I would look at it as a trade. You're trading something for something else. And depending on what you are willing to invest your time and energy into, you're going to be trading to get something usually of higher value. Okay. So that's my little spiel as we end this, sacrifice towards something better. Yeah, again, I want us to not even say sacrifice. We're going to say trade. We're going to have a trade-off. And if we can invest our heart and our mind and our soul into something, maybe a little bit of energy, maybe a little bit of time, we may have to trade that, but the better that we can come into that and the higher frequency that we can come into that, the trade-off, what we're going to get in return is going to be so much better, because it's not, we don't have as much capacity as let's say God or the universe. So that power that's coming back to us just for giving a little bit is going to be so much more. You have to believe this. So very quickly, sorry, I just had a lot to say. So very quickly, the last chapter that I want to talk about in this book is called, it's chapter 20, and it's called The Downside of Creating Good Habits. So you have everything that you need. And if those of you, if some of you are new and you didn't get to, we've been talking about this for like 2.5 weeks, this is like our 3rd week, I think. So if you need to get caught up, you can text the word mastery to 833-231-4407, and I'll send you a link that has resources I created as well as a playlist so that you can catch up on the videos, or you could just DM me and I'll send you the link. So for those of you that need to get caught up, go ahead and get caught up. Those of you that have been with me, thank you. And this is going to be the chapter that I think kind of pulls everything together for you to take this little package of information that you receive and go off and do great things. So chapter 20 is the downside of creating good habits. And one of the quotes that he said was, the upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. So we've already talked about the biology and the psychology behind making a change, and how once things get going and get automated, you could do things without thinking, even the good habits that you have ingrained into your brain, right? But the downside is that you stop paying attention once you've created a good habit. This is where my concept and my philosophy of mastery comes in, because we've all maybe taken steps forward in life and accomplished good things in our life. But the difference between you continuing to have a good life day after day, month after month, year after year, is your ability to be aware of your life on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis. However, if you get to this good place and you stop and you get comfortable, what tends to happen is either you slack off a little bit, so you start making more errors, or for a lot of people, they just stop improving. And so you actually end up getting in a plateau again. And you continually will do something great, have a plateau in life, and start to feel that vicious cycle that comes up with the negativity, the doubt, the unfulfillment, and all of that. So you have to make sure that you develop a practice that continuously allows you to not be happy with the things that you've accomplished, but to always be looking at your life holistically to see if there are areas that maybe need new habits, or maybe need habits that need to be changed or tweaked, or maybe need to examine any of the habits that you've developed successfully and they're starting to slack off a little bit. So habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. So what does that mean? What particularly does that mean in the way that I help you ladies, in the way that I help my private clients? What it means to me is that you do start to hardwire these things in your brain and in your behavior, in your biology and in your psychology, that are going to make it easier for you to be a successful person, that is going to make it easier for you to be the woman that you want to be. However, you never stop. You never stop integrating some sort of deliberate practice into your life so that you are continuously moving toward being the best version of yourself, the better version of yourself, making better decisions, evaluating how you did something, how you thought about something, how you felt about something, in order for you to see if, yes, does this check with my heart, my mind, or no, is there something I need to change? And to me, that practice of habits and deliberate practice deliberate practice to continuously get better and stay on track to the best version of yourself, and even looking to see if that version of yourself needs to change for the season that you're in, is called personal mastery. That is why I primarily always call myself a personal mastery coach. But a lot of people don't know what that means, because this lifestyle, although people want it deep down inside, they don't understand what it means. And so basically what you're doing is learning how to transform. You're learning how to take yourself on a constant transformational journey that is very self-aware, very deliberate, where you're in touch with your intuition, your heart, where you have better control of your mind and your thoughts, and you're able to pull all these together to make you a more powerful person. So the way that you do this, the deliberate practice, is reflection and review. And it allows you to always be conscious of your performance in your life. High performance people, which is primarily the type of women that I work with, because these are women that are very ambitious. They want a lot out of life, and maybe they just got a little bit stuck, or maybe didn't have the tools that they need, and they want to get back on track. But this high performance is about showing up for yourself and checking and adjusting along the way. These little 1% adjustments along the way continuously. Also, the last thing that I want to mention, because I've given you a simplistic view of how you create your identity, but I want you to understand that even though I'm teaching you the more surface level things about how your person may act, how your higher version, your highest self may act, from the way that they do things, right? From the way that they think and from the way that they feel. I want you to know also that that identity may be fluid. I don't want you to get stuck in an identity, because we're probably stuck in an identity right now. The version of ourselves that we're experiencing right now is that identity that we've created, and an identity that we've been for a while. And, it stops getting results after a while, especially if you need to be moving in this personal mastery way, this way of improvement, this way of always striving to be a better version of yourself and shining the best light in the world. So once you develop a core concept, understand that the core concept, the identity, the best version of yourself, how she walks, how she talks, how she thinks, how she dresses, all of the things, how she shows up in life, that may change one day. And part of your reflection and part of your deliberate practice and part of your mastery and part of you being in touch with who you are as a woman is so that maybe this person needs to change. And your identity, lastly, when I want you to think about truly who you are, even though you're doing stuff, you're thinking stuff, you're feeling stuff, you're walking a certain way, you're eating certain foods, all of these things, what truly matters is for you to also get to the core of who you are. And it's, what do you value? What is important to you? What makes you angry? What makes you happy? What is it that really makes you you on a deep emotional level? If you didn't have any of those things, what is it that you value? Because those, to me, are the things that you may cling to a little tighter, and all the other stuff can kind of fade away. All right. We got 2 minutes left. We're done with Atomic Habits. Is there another book that you guys want me to start to cover? Next month on the 26th, we have a totally free class going over how to protect your energy, how to protect yourself from negativity. So if you're someone that picks up on everybody else's energy, or you go in a circumstance and your energy gets off, people can be mad, sad, negative, and that impacts you, or maybe you feel things really deeply and people don't understand you, and it makes you feel lonely, and it makes you feel like you don't have any stability or balance and things like that, then that class is for you. So make sure that you sign up for that class. However, I do like these daily lives. I like coming out, hanging out with you. So what is it that you guys want me to talk about next? Like, do you have a book that you'd want me to deep dive? Do you want to know my perspective on stuff? Do you just want me to pick whatever comes up? Do you need more tangible tips like the atomic habits, or do you need more spiritual concepts to help you start to adopt this life that I'm talking about? Let me know. Give me feedback. I want it to be helpful for you. Let's see. Ratana says, thank you. Beautiful. Good meeting. Very informative. Appreciate you. Ratana, I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate you for participating, because when you guys participate, it makes it more fun. It always seems like I'm always sitting and like preaching, and I like when you guys come at me. Let's see. Ashley said the comparison really helped you understand. Oh, about the school. Yeah. I think that for some reason, we think that life is different, and it's not. It's really not. And we'll go through a process, and we'll know that there may be ups and downs and stops and starts, but we know that if we do it, we'll get it done. And so life, there's no other difference to life other than your belief that it has to be any easier or harder than that. Robert said, I picked the book. Oh my God, really, y'all? Y'all ain't gonna tell me what y'all want to learn. Okay, I'll pick whatever then. I'll pick whatever. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Oh, who was it? Oh, Robert said my hair wrap was cute. Thank you. I just twisted my hair. I took those braids out, and so I had to wrap it up so I didn't look like a hot mess. Ashley said she's going to DM me a book suggestion. She saw it and got a sample of it on Kindle. Thank you, girl. All right. So we may have a suggestion from Ashley. So that'll be helpful, so I don't have to think too hard. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Ratana, yeah, teaching, not preaching. Oh, you think I'm teaching, not preaching? I feel like I'm preaching, girl. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.